Oh my god. Chills. Chills every time at the Buzz Flip It clip. Shout out to you, Buzz. Hello. Welcome to Season 2, Week 2 of Div 2. Lots of twos going on this week. St. Louis, Spirit of St. Louis, I guess, versus the Waco Weathermen. Looks like everybody's joining the server just now. I, obviously, am your host. I'm Katie, commentating and technical directing tonight, though there's not much technical directing going on. And we're in warm-up as, does the intro not have any sound? I might have just messed it up. To be honest, Juice, I probably had it muted. But as long as you can hear me now, that is what matters. As we get filtering in, let's press tab here. Let's see what we got lined up here. It makes noise on my screen, so I just kind of assume that it's fine, but you know what? Live and learn. As we get Twisted Topher, Zaza, and Demo for Weatherman starting. Topher an early pick. I know he had a little pinafore, you know. Early pick for the Weathermen. We have Zaza, who I haven't even seen him skate much, but I just love the name Zaza. You know, gotta love that. Fight Lash. I've pugged with him many a time. Gotta love him. Honestly, not a bad skater too, and a really excelling goalie as of late. Finding a starting spot in D2 and a sub spot in D1. And we have Goodheart, the captain of the Spirit, along with Laverne, another big pugger, and Zadizzle, aka Not Having Fun. We got Zaza, Zadizzle. We're missing a zebra. Rest in power. And it looks like we have Pack starting as well. A few on the sidelines as well. Looks like there's Goose, Silk, Baron, other guys. So some options, both teams. And let's just do a quick little dive into how these teams have been doing so far. It's obviously week 2. So looking at week 1, the Weathermen lost both their games on Monday, I believe. Both close games, both within 1 goal to the Reapers. And in week 2, they got 2 wins, one of them being a shutout win, which is great for them. Well, as for the Spirit, it's like 2 losses. I confused the tricodes. 2 losses on Monday and Wednesday. Looks like they had 2 losses. So, you know, not looking great for the Spirit. I haven't watched the games. This is not corruption. I handpicked this game. I did the logo for the Weathermen, and I know Goodheart. Anyways, the Spirit looking to get any points on the board. Actually, they have 2 points because some of them were overtime losses. We have 2 of them were overtime losses. And Weathermen, they have 7 points in the standings, so doing pretty well for themselves. Looks like we're getting the vote starts rolling in. I'll make sure that all of my stuff is in order. Looks like it is. Minimap is not flipping off the side of the screen, thank God. The arena looks a bit like a pit of despair. That's just how I play the game. I took down the padded glass, but let's see. Some jabbering in the chat. People not starting the game quite yet, but Weathermen looking very spiffy in their blue, and Spirit rocking their alternates tonight. That yellow jersey looking crisp. Shout out to Flyfire for that. Speaking of Flyfire, look at that little imprint on the ice. PHL Contender Division Champion Season 1. Yeah, I was like 20 around with it. I was like, why do I feel so confused? Because I had it the other way around first, but blue actually being blue is pretty exciting, and yellow for red. White Lashes kit is not what it should be, but that's okay, because I think we're getting the vote starts going. No, vote starts to slow down. Let's see. Jerseys. Alt. There you go, Fight Lash. R. And this game tonight is obviously sponsored by Renport Pale Ale. I'm sipping one tonight. Gonna keep me a little bit dialed in during these late games. Speaking of late games, if you watched the KPL games the other night, pretty fun. Happened so late in the night. I am just tormenting myself constantly with my sleep schedule, but
Katie, can you hear this?
that was loud. That was really scary. Anyways, late night puck. Who doesn't love it? It's me in the booth tonight. Yeah, but we got a good few streams going on. We got Sleepy with a Y, another D1 goalie rocking a stream, and we got Dabs running the barn cam. So we're, you know what? I'm proud of the production team. Let's go production, getting some motion going. We're gonna get motion going. We're not seeing much of that in the lobby right now. Where the hell are the vote starts? Anybody for vote start? White Lash just did a belly flop like triple spin. That was crazy. That's weird. Sorry for the pink pads, but you know the vibe. I can't change everything in time. Anyways, I'm gonna vote start too. Let's get this rolling. Let's get this puck dropped, and it looks like we will have our puck drop. Game 1 of the pair of matches tonight between the St. Louis Spirit and the Waco Weathermen. Laverne gets it off the face-off, sends it down to Like in the way. Like able to defend, but also gets some motion going up a little bit higher on the ice. Topher, I believe, intended to play up this season, but a known skilled defender as well. And Silk, showing his silky mitts early on, snipes the top corner on Fight Lash. A fantastic goal to set the tone so far. Early in the games tonight, picks up in front of the Dizzle, gets it around Goose, and just rips it perfectly. Not taking too much time, just finding the shot and taking it. Beautiful job by Silk there. And he's a skater I haven't seen too much of in the past, but you know, so far doing a good job impressing me. Gotta love the shot there. I agree, Juice. I wish more people could shoot like. Actually, as a goalie, I probably don't, but still, you gotta. You can shoot like that. Don't get too down on yourself. Anyways, we got Goodhart putting up off the walls. Topher fighting for it. Silk belly flops into Laverne a little bit. Contact there, a scrum in middle ice. As Zaza fights for it, Laverne can't strip it off. Zaza gets ready for a shot. Low and to the right. And White Lash is having a rude awakening in this first period of this first game of the night. And, you know, it's tricky. You just caught the dash the wrong way. And when it's that low corner, you're picking that low corner. You just got to play it perfectly. I know it looks like a simple shot to save, but if you're not there, it is, you know, nigh impossible to stop the puck from going in. Yeah, Juice, you could be so much better at puck. How's that? I hope you guys like the little inscription I have on my top. This is I Heart PHL. I'm sure we'll be selling them as merch eventually. That is not how you spell parentheses. But you were pretty close. As Silk fights for it in the slot here, gets ready for another shot. Fight Lash gets his save though. You know, proving himself again. It's a hard look let in 2 goals early. It's an even harder look let in 3. And for how skilled of a goalie Fight Lash is, it is looking like a rough start for them so far. And not looking promising for the team that has not found a win so far in this Ender division. Not sure. You know what? I don't have the bright analyst mind that some of these casters have. I can't pick apart the play per se as to what specifically is going wrong. But I can tell you that they're letting the puck in the net a little bit too much. Laverne can't cut that one off. Zaza picks it up again. It just seems like the Weathermen keep getting the puck. I know there's a little bit of a controversial draft from Tkachuk there with the early Topher pick, but Topher proving that, you know, he's got a spot on the ice, and Silk, like someone in chat said, the steal of the draft. And yeah, as Austin pointed out, Goodhart with the last spot in the draft, not with the snake. A little bit rough of a setup, but you know, he's still got some good talents there. It's just not exactly what. Laverne skating up the ice, like behind him, not quite in range to check it off of him. Laverne loses it for a moment, still there, but like edges him out in the back corner. Goodhart parked in front of the net, hoping that the puck just comes to him, he can get something in there. And you know, the Spirit have to dig their heels into the ground and not let any more shots come off. And as I say that, A little scary situation there. Fight Lash in the way of it technically, but did not look like a very comfortable save there for anybody involved, as Goodheart, the captain of the Spirit, picks it up. Not before Topher can strip it off of him. Turns it around behind Zaza. Zaza looks for that stretch pass, almost finds Silk, but ends up going into the palms of Zadizzle. And he rips that across the ice too. Goose passes across the boards again. Vern's going to pick it up, but Topher and Silk coming in pretty close. The pass goes off, but not to Goodheart. Goose there instead, but Zaza there to block it. Great defensive play. And it just looks like the Waco Weathermen are doing a much better job of keeping the puck here. Like with a few deeks here, getting ready for something to go on. Excuse me, I just, that Runport Pale Ale's hitting me. Doesn't get a pass or shot off that early. Zaza finds a little bit of open space though. Laverne whiffs on the clear, and this gives another chance for the Weathermen. Thankfully, Fight Lash is able to get the pads down in time. He's dropping a nice shot in the chat. As I get sent down across the ice, and Topher going to pick that up with not a lot of pressure on him. Goodheart catching up slowly but surely, but able to get the pass off to Silk. The Dizzle pushes up on him, not able to catch it, like catching it out of the air. Nice little cheeky play from him there. And tries to get maybe a shot off, but ends up just going behind the net. Zaza trying to see if he can sneak it in around the edge, but not quite able to, as Goose picks it up in his own zone. Little light tap down the ice, doesn't find a teammate. The connection he was looking for there. 30 seconds, give or take, left in the first period, and it is looking absolutely brutal if you are a fan of the St. Louis Spirit. And all you can do is hope that they stop the bleeding and they can do what they can to turn this game around. Still 2 periods left. If one team can score 3 times, then another team can score 3 times for all I care. The Dizzle knocking the puck through to Zaza. They get sent back down. Silk chasing Goose to pick it up. He wins this one. We'll call that split in half as Like tries to get it, but actually Like does keep it. Laverne with a good body there, and Like to end the period, kind of maybe trying to cheer up the boys, get them back in the game, but in my semi-professional opinion, this is, you usually don't want to lose or give up rather 3 goals in the first. But I've seen crazier comebacks. Albeit they usually happen in pugs, but there's good talented skaters, there's good talented forwards on this St. Louis team, so I can imagine that they can sneak a couple by Damo. And, that's what I'm rooting for. I just want it to be a close game at the very least, as the puck gets sent down ice at the start of the second period. This first game of the night between the St. Louis the Spirit of St. Louis. Sorry, I almost said a different team. Real ones now. Versus the Waco Weathermen. Lake picks it up for the Weathermen. Doesn't quite get the pass off as Laverne picks it up for the Spirit. Instead, a few light deeks back and forth. Tries to get around Topher. Gets ready for a shot, but goes towards the chest of Damocles. That's going to be a save for the Waco Weathermen, but good and refreshing for the Spirit to get a shot off. Find themselves that they're still in this. They can still get their plays going. As the Dizzle behind the Spirit's net. Few moves trying to get it to a teammate. Looks like it's going to go to Goodheart off the wall, but just perfectly goes around him as Silk's going to pick it up instead. Iffy turnover there as Zaza chases for the puck there. Fight Lash in position for the save, has to worry about that wraparound, but Goodheart applying a little bit of pressure. Keeps that from being any more dangerous. Silk coming up on Zadizzle. They're both whiffing on this. I can't... I'm gonna take a sip of my beer and let the game go for a second. That was certainly something. Wow. Silk catches it out of the air. Doesn't keep it as Goose is gonna get it. Almost a turnover to Zaza, but look like Goodheart is there to pick it up. 3.5 minutes left in the second period. Gets sent over to Like, intercepts the pass, but Laverne strips it from him. This could be a good chance for him. Tries to find it, goes for Deke, loses it a little bit, and ends up being a really weak shot low and into the pads. I don't know, Savo. Someone else in chat might be. Fight Lounge with the clear. Silk instantly sticks the stake up to knock it back down. That could have gone really poorly for the Spirit, but thankfully for the St. Louis team that go in. Goose taking his time here, looks for his option, catches Goodheart there, but Zaza closes in, and this defense from the Weathermen is looking really tight. feels pretty hard for the Spirit to find the holes in it. We get a few chances here and there, but when they do, you know you have to make them count. You can't be having the puck slip off your stick. You whiffed on the passes, whiffed on the tap-ins. Just gotta lock in. Don't let it get into your head. Doesn't matter what the scoreline is. You're just trying to go out there and get a good play going. Laverne with Zaza and follow. Sends it down to Zadizzle. Has a couple options. Maybe a drop here. Just loses the puck in the corner. A bit of an ugly play there from the Spirit. As Silk is going to get it. Send it down. Ice. Through Goose to Zaza. Breakaway. Deeks. Back and forth. Rips it in. But Fight Lash. Able to get a save. Topher not able to keep the puck for his team. No. Fight Lash really bailing out that mishap. That breakaway through for the Spirit. Right out Fight Lash there. A shot almost going in. Damocles didn't clear it as much as he wanted it to. But the shot ends up going a little bit low, able to get deflected. The Dizzle looks for another pass here, but gets tipped away. I believe that was Topher that got it. Few opportunities coming here, but the finishing, they're just not finding exactly what they need to, but a bad turnover there. The Dizzle with a nice shot, but Damocles there in time to stop it from going in. Rims around back to Zizzle. Laverne looking for a shot there off the post and in. Over the pads, wide, beautiful placement. And finally, the Spirit St. Louis are able to capitalize on a defensive mishap from the Weathermen. And that's going to cut it down to a 2-goal lead as we're still in the second period. With a minute and 20 seconds left, and this game just got interesting. Do not write out this Spirit team. They are, they got good guys in there. Goose, incredible defender, is a Dizzle. I've also heard pretty good things about his defense. Laverne, who's been increasingly scoring more goals and pugs these days, and Goodhart, who's been around as a household name in puck at this point. So, do I just keep calling teams the Sparks? I might have called them the Sparks again. It's been a long week. Anyways, Goodhart picking up for the Spirit. A little bit of room here. Dude, the WPHL would just be all goalies. Silk wins the 50 there, has a little bit of a chance here. But a few Spirits close in on him. Like down low, looking for an option out front, gets it through, and Silk off the rebound, gets another goal. That is 4-1 so far. And it looks like the Spirit have not stopped the bleeding there. Like, down low, as Laverne can't close in time, it bounces off a few things, and Silk was able to tuck it around Fight Lash there. There's like Euro Truck Sim, she doesn't really play the game at all. We can get like Kevin Supermarket, let's get Embrace back on the game. There's Gizmotron that doesn't play in the PHL. There's a few out there. We can get Miss Hot Dog Flaps maybe. We can get Grizz's mom. I feel like there's like a few people we can like extend a little bit. We'll do an expansion draft later on, As I got really excited for the Spirit as they cut down that lead to 2, but like the Weatherman answered back in kind. And if you'll notice, Kachuk, the captain, not even on the ice, just trusting in his guys there. It's a nice feeling just being able to sit back. Yeah, I trust my boys. They're probably watching the stream. It's a great feeling, and it's a sign. You really got to respect the captains for doing that. And they, if they say this is the best lineup we got, taking the chance to just sit on the bench, honestly gives you a chance to communicate a little bit more with your team if you need some angel comms, if you will. You get a scrum off the sidewall. The Dizzle trying to win it off of Topher, but it looks like Topher's going to come away with it. Back behind his own net, rims it around to Silk. An awkward handoff, but ends up working anyways. Goes through. Laverne tries to get in the way, but Like ends up getting it anyways. Some back and forth here in the neutral zone. Laverne with just 3 skaters on him. And maybe Goose. Let's see if Goose gets something going. A long shot low and wide. Damo able to scrape it to the side pretty easily. I guess that counts as a chance for the Spirit, but not really the quality chance that they want if they're going to try and get themselves back in this game. 3 goals in 4 minutes. It'd be pretty brutal. Chuck in the chat says, we have a very versatile lineup that makes me feel comfortable swapping players around in multiple lineups. And that's great. If you're able to keep that chemistry between like a lot of different lineups, it's a great thing. It's kind of something that I tried with my preseason team, the Charm City Croakers. Shout out. Gotta love them. Oh my god, I think Light got that with his chest. A beautiful block by him, stopping that from going on Damocles. And it's nice. It takes some, you know, it can fall apart if you guys don't have that chem, but if you're able to build that up, it's a great way to structure your team. Anybody you need, you got different tools. Yeah, the first CCC, by the way. And the best, in my opinion. Best logo, too. Silk behind his own net. Sends it up the boards to Zaza, but Goody might be able to cut that one off. And rims it back around. Has the Dizzle as an option. Maybe a pass coming out here. Gets it through, but Silk gets it. Goodart almost ramming it back in, but not quite able to. That puck gets sent down into the Spirit's zone. I'm trying to think other... Oh my gosh, there's Goodart. Full landmine stance going for a shot that almost went in. Kind of believed in it. I mean, these jerseys are so confusing. Is it because... Oh, is it because like the scoreboard color? Grow up. Grow up. Yeah, blue is blue. The Weathermen have blue in their logo. Spirit have yellow in their logo. We're using the alternates, you know, there's two teams that have blue jerseys as their defaults. You gotta do something. And this is what we ended up with. The Dizzle getting off the boards. Tries to get to Laverne's. A little bit of a catch there, but gives time for Topher to come in. And somehow away with it again, but that's going to get tipped off of them. And 2 minutes left. Puck slowly going back into the Spirit of St. Louis zone. This is looking pretty much chalked, I would say, for this game 3, unless something remarkable happens. Pouring out for the Spirit this first game. Take a sip of your Renport Pale Ale, brought to you by the Renport Tradebreaker. Look at the chance here, sends it back in front. It looks like Zaza or somebody kind of sent that the wrong way, but not too bad of an outcome if you're just running down the clock a little bit more as I take another sip of this Pale Ale. Guys, I'm still fighting for the Marlboro sponsorship. Oh, Laverne on a breakaway. Dude, Deexter goes for the shot. Damo perfectly in the way. Laverne not able to get it around him, and that's going to keep it down to just 1 goal against Damo this game. Sends it down nice. Goose tries to break it up. Does a little bit. It's like White Lash is going to clear it back down. Ends up falling into the stick of Silk. Laverne knocking it off of him, going for one last-ditch effort. Over in front, Light coming in from the side. A low shot Damo in the way. Hart in the corner, continuing this offensive attack. What is that? Feels redundant. Offensive attack. Offensive effort. There you go. But not coming to much fruition there. Zaza is probably going to clear it back down. There we go. Running that clock down. 35 seconds left. 2-on-1. So the Weathermen don't come away with it there as Goose sends it back up the boards to Laverne. Laverne assessing his options. A beautiful tape-to-tape pass to Goodhart. Goodhart drops it behind him, looking a little sloppy, but you're allowed to be sloppy in these certain situations. I would credit. Puck gets turned over to Zaza. It could have been another shot on net, but thankfully Fight Lash isn't going to have to make a save there. As we're in the last 10 seconds of this first game, and this is looking pretty much like it's just going to the Weathermen. GG's in the chat. Props to both teams. I feel like there were some good plays from both teams, but just the Weathermen consistently connecting. I felt like their chances were a little bit better. Fight Lash just in that game couldn't get in the way of a few of the saves, and there she blows. But you know, if you're on the Spirit, you got to keep your head up. You know that you have the people on the ice that can score. High scoring puck is nice, dude. I love a 4-1 game. God, you know, you feel bad for the goalie. You feel bad for some of the skaters out there, but you just love to see goals go in. That's what we do it for, you know. You're in that horn. God, I wish so badly you could mod the goal horns, like, easily. One day. Do you have any other, like, cool things I can pull up? Go back to the score. I'm sitting more of my drink. Tell Toaster. I've been trying to I don't know how to code at all. But I was trying to figure out how to do like a workshop mod to give like the PHL score bug for people in their own games. Okay, I'm gonna stop yapping. We're in game 2 of the night. The Spirit still hunting for their first win of the season. Headed into this Monday of week 2, as Tkachuk is going to pick it up in his own zones. The Dizzle closing in on him. Applies some pressure. Goodart gets it on his stick, not able to keep it. Would have been a really bad turnover for the Weatherman, but Goodart just not able to capitalize on it as much as he wanted. We have a fight for the puck off the walls. The Dizzle comes away with it. Goodart going for a shot again, but Tkachuk in the way. Tkachuk taking the ice here. Let's look at the lineup. Looks like it's just Tkachuk in for Like, I believe. You know what? You know what, Lettuce? Do you know what's messed up? Hold on, Goody might score. Oh, nice try, Goody. Didn't draft... He didn't draft Weatherboy, I don't believe. Or if he did, he's just not here today. Same way that Piss Jugman didn't get drafted in D3, even though I thought Inertia would. I still hold that against Inertia. I don't like that guy now, because he didn't pick Piss Jugman. And I played a pug with Piss Jugman. He's actually a very sweet and reasonable guy. Plays hockey in real life. I feel like he actually would have been like a surprisingly good D3 pick as we get Topher picking up in the neutral zone. Doesn't back down deep, but looks like Goose is gonna pick it up before anyone on the Weathermen can. I gotta do like Duolingo for English. I gotta like remember how to speak my own language again. Gets sent across down to Zaza. Goose applying some pressure there. Looks for the pass there. Gets it to Silk, but not having fun. AKA Dizzle is there to break it up a little bit. Goodart coming away with it there for a brief sweet moment. He had the puck before Topher took it off of him. Chuck picking it up here, maybe getting a shot or a pass off here. Now that he's in the offensive zone, doesn't quite make the connection out there. Yeah, we got Like in the chat. You did great out there. Good win. Gotta love it. Yeah, I'm excited for scoring chances also. That actually is a great. I have the parking spot reserved for my move. I'm still looking for people with a car and or a truck in our nation's capital, Washington D.C., to help me out moving this weekend. I also Lettuce. I'll have to get new internet. That's scary. I don't know if it'll be like good or bad, but it always worries me. Get puck bouncing off the wall, back between a few hands there. I'm going to Zadizzle with Silk following closely behind. Curls back around, tries to get up to Frosty. Frosty, by the way, a Charm City Croakers alumnus. I heavily recommended Frosty to Goodhart as the last pick, or his last pick of the draft. I believe the last overall pick of the draft, Mr. Relevant. Zaza wide open there. Doesn't get a shot on net, though. Going to be kicking himself after that. Goes for the wraparound, but Fight Lash not having to make a save there off of what seemed like a very dangerous chance for the Weathermen. Goodhart pushing up on it here, and maybe the confidence not maintaining for the Weathermen here. Getting some good chances there, but haven't capitalized so far. Minute 42 left in the first period of the second game of the night. Just got so tired all of a sudden. Anyways, puck gets sent almost a good heart, but Zaza's going to get a nice little tap to intercept it. Silk tries to catch the pass, but not able to keep it. The first touch, but not the follow through. As the Dizzle is going to send it down ice. A little bit too far in front of Frosty to keep a play going, though. Frosty going to apply some pressure there as it goes into the hands of Tkachuk. You guys chasing me behind. I'm going for that back check, but Tkachuk seems to keep it so far. It's just past Frosty. The Spirit able to fight the puck off of the Weatherman just enough to stop that attack from coming any further. Dizzle again picking it up off the ice, has to get it around Silk, and he does. Frosty picking up there, just goes past the stick, barely misses. Be a dangerous chance, but Fight Lash stepping out a little bit out of the crease there to get in the way of Silk getting that chance. Gonna go dead into the corner. Puck sent out in front. Beautiful intercept by Frosty. Frosty, a two-way skater, but played a lot of defense on the Croakers. Did a great job. Just a smart guy, smart player, great locker room presence. Also a current teammate on the Pillsbury Doughboys. Nice little tap there by the man of the hour. Down to the Dizzle. A little bit of open space here. Let's see what he can do. Is he going to go for a shot? He does! Wide left. And that is going to be frustrating for the Spirit of St. Louis, as they finally got the chance, but just not getting on target. Neither team's really getting some on-target chances. A few opportunities there, but nothing coming through. Thank you, Juice. Love Frosty. Can't wait to drink a soda after this and start packing up pairs of shoes. God, I live my life. Say hi to he's skating now, so you probably won't type hi, but you know, I imagine he'll say hi to the stream. He said hi to me in the chat. That's so sweet of him. Don't forget to drink water. I got a glass of water by me. I'm like a one drink at a time girly, so like I'll finish my beverage, get a little water going, get a little soda going. I do have the window unit that had black mold in it, so I've had that turned off for the past 2 or 3 weeks. And it's just constantly pretty hot in my apartment, so it's been a real desolate landscape so far, but my mind is a little bit clearer without the black mold in it at the very least. Perfect time. It is. I've been hydrating more than usual lately. I left my water bottle at my partner's house though, so I've just been drinking out of a regular glass. It's not as fun, you know? I want to drink out of my water bottle with a bunch of stickers on it. As Kachuk gets it in the offensive zone. Tries to get a pass out to Silk, but Frost is going to pick it up off the wall, sends it down ice. Dazzle, I think it helped me improve, but it's not helping me maintain. You know, I'm deteriorating. Riding away. Gopher in his back corner. Loses the puck a little bit. What an awkward play there. Goodart going to try and capitalize on that, but not quite able to. Puck dropping down in the hands of Silk. Nice little slow pass to Zaza, but that lets Goose catch up. Zaza unable to catch it on his stick. Not getting the right movement inputs to put himself where the puck was going. But able to block it there. Slowing down the play a little bit. Frosty bounces it into the corner. Tries to go for a pass down, but that's going to be a turnover to Topher. Looking for a pass most likely, but Frosty there to break it up, making up for the previous turnover as we get Goodhart on an open break. 2-0. Let's see if he can get it done. Goes for the deke, slows him down, doesn't even get the shot off. That's brutal. I think, you know, you're trying to do a lot. The whole team's on your back there, but I feel like you got to threaten the pass. You got to just go for a long shot. You just want to get it on net, I think is, you know, has to be the priority there. And maybe it felt like the right thing to do in the moment, but you know, you got to do what you're good at. I feel like Goodhart especially has a very good shot. I see that from him more so than deking, so I feel like you should just stay with what he's comfortable with, at least in my own personal opinion. Like for the Weatherman in chat saying we need to lock in. It's got to be a pretty different feeling in the series, or I guess not series. Does it count as a series? Anyways, it's got to feel different just not being up a goal. Like you still have it kind of hanging over your head that part of my pun, but that sword of Damocles hanging over your head as to you know, whoever gets the goal first is gonna have that lead, is gonna have that momentum. Rossi with the beautiful pass there. Goody catches it on his heel. That's gonna go to Topher instead though. White Lash checking the puck just in case, but not gonna be on net as Zaza sends it back. Topher picking up, gets a heavy hit off the boards. Still gonna pick it up, get it around Goose, but what you wanted is Goodhart's able to come away with it. Looking for his options. The play develops, and Topher's gonna strip it from him, kill that play early. Goody does a good job to recover it though. Trying to find some open space. A few of his own guys to go through. Gets it towards the net, but that's gonna go through traffic and not gonna quite make it through. Silk now, a little bit open space, gets a deke around Dizzle, and gets a pass almost to Zaza. Sorry, there's a lot of ziz going on. No, I'm at the edge of my seat. You know what? I will truly scooch to the edge of my seat. I'm so curious to see who scores next. It feels like the momentum has really died down for the Weathermen. Zaza out in front. Good save by Fight Lash. Seemed to do a little side hop after that one. A little silly guy. A long stretch pass. Chuck is going to pick that one up. Curls it back. Goodart blocks it. Damocles is going to do a good job to tap it to the side. Thankfully, Zaza is able to pick it up first. A high pass down to Silk. Goes for a pass, but not able to get the contact he needs. Goose is going to beat him up a bit in the corner. Goody coming away with it. Gets it around Kachuk. A little bit of open space with Zaza chasing after him. Frosty has an option in front. Just has to get around Topher. And can he do it? He does! And goes for a shot. A little bit wide to right. That's the spirit, Goody. Go for those shots. You know, build the confidence up. You're going to get more chances. It's still 0-0. Get yourself back in this game. Goodart doing a great job on both sides of the ice, stopping that play from going any further. Fight Lash. Gonna be a little bit worried there with the Deeks coming in front of him with those silky mitts. Zaza goes for a low shot. Silk tries to get the rebound, but Fight Lash does a great job keeping his composure. That one's not going to go in. About 12 seconds left in the second period, and it's still 0-0. God forbid we have a high-scoring game and it was 0-0 overtime. Silk is kind of nasty. I agree that he seems like a real steal, and I feel like, I mean, in any division you're gonna get some of that. I feel like D2 is like the perfect mix. Like, you know, before the D3 draft, people will realize that there's, you know, the good names have kind of already been taken. Maybe in the sub slots not so much, but D2, there's a lot of people that don't get picked in D1, especially with a smaller set of teams, so you can really find some names that fall a little bit. I just got called a goofy goober in chat. What the hell? Trying to get an early attack here, almost gets away with it, but Zaza is going to end up coming away with the puck. Holds it slowly, tries to get it up to Kachuk, and he does. Maybe a cross crease there, ends up getting tipped off a defender's stick. Gopher pushing in pretty fast. Zaza chasing into the corner, but Frosty's going to get there first to battle him for it. Nice on the boards pass. Tries to intercept, but looks like these Spirit are going to come away with it. Silk, a beautiful move around Goose, cutting it back, goes for the pass. Zaza not quite in the place he needed to be to receive it. That was looking real gorgeous from the Weathermen there. Some good passing plays. Not just the breakaways. You know, they got some depth. Silk still in the offensive zone. Zaza goes for a shot off of that pass out in front. Whitelash going to be in the way of it as Kachuk is going to chase it down in his own zone as the play slows down a bit. Chuck, open space, observing his options. Puck drops down, gets past Goose, but doesn't get into the hands of Silk, as the Dizzle's able to catch up to it in the zone. And Frosty, some open space here, should keep it for a little bit, and he does. Our heads up play, Topher closing in a bit. Looks for his options, almost gets a beautiful pass to Goodhart, but just gets tapped away off the stick. Goodhart out in front, but doesn't get the power he needs. They're just one or two steps away from some really beautiful chances. And all I can hope is that the Spirit kind of, you know, some VOD reviews, some practice, building up the chem, just get those connections that they need. There are a few skaters there, as it's going to fall back behind the net of the Weathermen. Zaza off the wall, sends it down deep, goes past Silk though, and that's going to slow down the play yet again. Drawing us closer and closer to the ever so hated 0-0 overtime. So you have to wonder what happened between game 1 and game 2. Fight Lash is, you know, he's getting his saves. I feel like the defense is tightened up just a little bit for the Spirit, but such a high scoring game down to 0-0 in the third, almost halfway through the period. It's a drastic change. Silk rushes it for a back pass, almost a cute play, but ends up turning it over to Zadizzle. So it cuts a little bit too far wide. Maybe still going for a shot there, up in the air, but too high over Goodhart. If I ever go quiet for a little bit too long, it's because I am drinking my drink. Don't apologize for it. Beautiful job by Goody swatting off a Silk there. Gopher going for what might have been a pass for a shot, but ends up just being a burger flip into the corner. Puck going out in front could get dangerous. Chuck picking it up, seeing if he can keep it in, but gotta bounce out and slow down the play yet again. This feels like both teams kind of hesitating a bit, not keeping that confidence that was seeing form in that first game. A few more missed shots, a few more missed passes. Goose almost in the way of that. Could have been dangerous, but thankfully the Spirit of St. Louis get that out in time. Zaza looks for a pass out front. Frosty does a great job knocking it behind the net. The Dizzle in the back corner sends it up and across. Goose going to pick it up next. Goes for a deke around Zaza. Tries to pass it across, but doesn't find his teammate. Silk gonna pick it up instead. And sends it through to Zaza. Almost picks it up. But thankfully for the sake of the Spirit. Oh my goodness. Fight Lash. Staying active. Getting in the way of the puck. Another shot. Ends up not going in. Frosty fighting Silk for it. Ends up passing it through. Goody. Able to get a stick there. Oh my gosh. Almost rushes it behind him into the net. Would have been a ridiculous goal. But unfortunately for everybody watching, that does not go in. No highlight reel goals just yet. We got about 53 seconds left for that to change in regulation. If we're going to find a puck off a turnover here. Frosty applying some pressure though. Old head matchup. Now both guys that have been around for a good while. Zaza in the corner. The Dizzle get in the way of it. Maybe going for a wrap here. A few options out front, but Frosty's going to come away with it instead. Tries to get it out of the hands of the Weathermen. But sends it down deep where there's no teammate to pick it up. And that's going to go back to the Weathermen again. A little under 30 seconds left in this third period. And if you would like to score, this would be the time to do it. Late in the third. Not a lot of time for a comeback. Sends it across to Silk. Oh my god! It's 1, 2, maybe 3 post. Wraps all the way around. Fight Lash leaving a yellow puddle in the crease. But does not go in. Good golly, Miss Molly. Goodhart fighting for it. 2 seconds left. Maybe one last pass, but no. That will be, despite the best efforts of the Weathermen, is 0-0 overtime. And Katie's going to be sitting in her chair longer before she gets up to get a different beverage. Shot ringing around the world. I've had it happen a few times, and you know what? Credit to the goalie, you got to force them to do that. That doesn't just happen. I actually have a Pepsi in my fridge. I'm drinking a Coors Light right now. I know I've been calling it Renport Pale Ale. Coors Light. If you'd like to sponsor us, I can send you an email. I can give you our design and marketing package. One of these days, Coors Light Marlboro. We'll get a cool sponsor. We'll get a cool sponsor, guys. I just have to send more emails. The Dizzle sends it down ice. Almost finds Goodhart, but just out of his reach. Beer you can see through. It's not a good beer. Lurker. Last night, I waited too long to eat dinner, and I went to CVS, and I got a shitty microwave chicken parmesan. I am not the type of person that's going to drink a beer that costs more than about... Well, actually, all beers are kind of expensive. You know what I mean. I'm like a PBR drinker. Treat myself to a Budweiser every now and then. I don't get very fancy with it. I used to drink wine a little bit with my besties. Not really that anymore. It gives me headaches. I had the chicken parm, and I did... Oh, no! Sorry, I'm so distracted. That is GG's for the night. As Fight Lash, trying to get back into the crease, does get back in time. Zaza passes it out in front, and a perfect cross crease. Silk with a slow chip up and over the pads. That's going to be 2 losses on the night for the Spirit. And 2 wins for the Weathermen and the Spirit. One of the week 2 is still not able to find a win. That's got to be rough for them. And you know what? Hopes and prayers going out to them. Beautiful job by the Weathermen to get 2 wins on the night. 1 regulation, 1 overtime. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have been Katie. This has been PHL Div 2 Season 2 Week 2. And good night and good puck.